guys, what's up, and welcome back to my channel. So first, a little disclaimer is that it's raining like hell out, so between the cars and the rain, the sound is this way. I apologize, but truly it's been raining on and off for days, so it's unavoidable at this point. Regardless, I want to talk about Tattoogate. If you don't know what happened with Tattoogate, we're gonna get into it here. The other annoying little disclaimer from me is that if you've been following me for a while, you know I have a good amount of my body tattooed. So that does not make me an authority by any means, but it does mean that I have an idea of what I'm talking about, that I've had multiple experiences with multiple tattoo artists, though I've been lucky enough to be with the same tattoo artist now for 10 years, thank God. It sounds crazy and horrible out there based on the news. Obviously, we know there are great tattoo artists as well. But I did want to talk about this because there are so many things I want to discuss about this whole situation. So we're gonna go over the whole thing, so if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you'll be fine. Basically, this person on TikTok came out and talked about their tattoo artist being wildly out of line, both in terms of professionalism and also just general human decency, I'd say. This person wanted the design of a fox. They sent reference pictures. They did everything a normal person who's trying to get tattooed would do. This tattoo artist responded in a completely unprofessional way and, in my opinion, ended up being a scammer. Here we are going to cover the TikToks and more of the details as to what actually occurred.
Story time, hopefully one part. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can. So I wanted a tattoo by this artist who I love, who's very talented on Instagram. This is nothing to do with her talent as a tattoo artist, just kind of the business practices that I've dealt with over the last 24 hours. So booked a consult with her a couple months ago. Consult was non-refundable. It was $180. That was listed on our website. That's fine. I paid that. We had a Zoom consult on Friday. I showed her these reference photos as to what I wanted for a half upper arm sleeve. We kind of talked about it a little bit. I said I wasn't really picky on what kind of flowers I wanted. I wanted the fox to look like he was running. Foxes were my favorite animal. I said I wanted some watercolor on the fox. The flowers were just going to be whatever she thought would look good. She then proceeded to tell me, after I had already I had paid her the consult, she told me that she had these three options for her design fee. So she charges a design fee to design her tattoos. So the first option was $1,500 plus tax, and you get a concept sketch, and you can make one minor change and then a final design that you'll review. The option number 2 was $3,500 plus tax, where you got 2 concept sketches and a couple changes and a final design review again. And then option 3 was $6,000 plus tax, where you would get multiple sketches and lots of reviews and lots of changes and like a canvas of your concept. At first I kind of thought that that price was going to then be taking it out of the final cost of my tattoo, but then I find out that it was not. I was still kind of blindsided, didn't really know what to say. She asked which option worked best for me. Obviously I picked number 1 because like it's super expensive. And she had these pictures, so I was confident that she was going to make me a beautiful piece. So Monday rolls around and she sends me this. This is her concept sketch. It is nothing like what I sent her. It's nothing like what I wanted. I emailed her immediately to tell her that I wanted a full fox. I wanted a tail. I wanted the fox to be the main feature. I wanted to be less flowers, more fox forward. And I said, I know I picked option 1, but this isn't what I had asked for with my pictures I sent you. She said that if I wanted another sketch, she was going to charge me the difference between option 1 and option number 2, which is $2,260. She said it was my fault that I wasn't clear that I wanted a full fox. But like, honestly, these are the 2 pictures I sent her, both full fox, both in the same position. I don't know how much clearer I could have been. She didn't ask if I wanted a full fox. I didn't think I had to say I wanted a full fox. There's gonna have to be a part 2.
I have never heard of paying a consult fee and then paying a fee for designs with a certain number of design alterations. All of that is brand new to me. I've never heard of that before. My heavily tattooed friends haven't either, so I don't know if this is a them practice, if this is a practice in other parts of the world. Even getting a design in the first place, I've never been charged for that. On top of that, I feel like it's extremely limiting to be like, hey, if you pay $6,000, you can get multiple changes, but still there's a limited amount of changes. That to me is insane, but also because if we're gonna think in a purely capitalist way, so it's like you wanna make money, right? But it's also like you're putting your ass on the line too, because if you say someone has 5 changes, right? You make those 5 changes. If someone doesn't have the money to pay for more changes and decides to get that, and then they're not happy with it, I feel like you have a lot more to lose than you actually realize. Because first of all, anytime someone says anything about that tattoo, they're probably gonna bring up, oh, by the way, this happened and you'll look bad. Second of all, they could straight up go on social media and say, this is fucking horrible, don't like this tattoo, they gave me a limited amount of changes. So again, you look bad, but on a larger scale. My technology hates me, don't ask. I feel if you are a human with any sense of, I don't know, feelings, emotions, various things we're plagued with, would you not feel bad? Because someone spent a crazy amount of money to get tattooed by you when they respect you, they respect your art, everything you're doing, and you not only let them down, you take a lot of their money and you also make them feel uncomfortable and disrespected the entire time. What are you left with? I may not be a visual artist, but I feel like a very significant part of your job is making your client happy. And if they're kind of just like meh about everything you did, how are you going to be okay with that? And also, again, if we return just to the capitalist point of view, that's not going to be good for business, and that should and probably would upset you because your job is not quote unquote stable, if we count any job as stable. I don't understand any of this.
So part 2 of Fox Tattoo. So here's the email where she tells me that I didn't tell her that I wanted the fox to have a full fox, even though I sent her 2 pictures saying I wanted the fox to have a full fox. So you can pause to read. So now I've paid her $2,695, the consultation, the design fee, plus $1,000 deposit for my actual tattoo date to book that. And she's telling me that she wants another $2,260 in order to just redraw my sketch, even though I sent her the pictures and showed her exactly what I wanted. She's saying it's my communication skills and that I didn't communicate exactly what I wanted. So you can pause to read my response to her. I tell her that I don't think it's a good business practice and that she should make her clients aware before they book a consultation that you're going to ask for a design fee on top of the tattoo fee. So she kindly comes back and tells me that I can do this option where I just pay for option 1 again for another $1,695 instead of the $2,260, and she'll make another sketch. So again, I'm just trying to make her understand I wasn't aware when I booked the consultation that I was going to pay this design fee. I think that I urged her to put it on her website that she was going to charge people this before they booked in with her. And so she sent me this response where she said it was an optional fee. And I was never told that fee was optional. She presented me with 3 options, asked me which one I was most comfortable with. I should have walked away at that point. That's on me. I'm that person that will eat the wrong meal that comes to me at the restaurant and thank you for that haircut and all that stuff. So honestly, that is me. But I feel like she could have been clear from the get-go. I know there was an option for her. She never went for option 4. She wrote 1, 2, 3. Those were the options that she gave me. And she went on to say that regarding my reference material, that it looked like the other fox. She didn't like the position they were in and the way like it was screaming when they get an back end. I'm really sure that the artist that made those tattoos would be happy to hear that that's what she thinks their work looks like. That like if it's a financial situation that I can afford to pay redesign, then I should maybe like getting a tattoo in the future. It's not that I don't have finances for it. It's I can't give her money when I was she wasn't with me from the beginning. Her out for telling me that there was an option asking her if she's going to refund that option. There's going to be a part. Okay, part 3. I hope this is that part. I'm sorry. I hate different parts, you guys. So then she says, like, am I saying I would have rather have not seen the design ahead of time, and we would have ended up in this same situation where I didn't like the sketch? And you know what? Maybe that would have happened, but at least I would have still had my $1,600 that I paid for the design. If I'm going to end up in the same situation anyways, I'd rather keep my $1,600 and see the design day of and decide I don't like it then. And then she says that she's been sweet and patient with me and that I've made nasty comments, which I didn't call her any names. I just told her I didn't agree with the way that her fees were explained and that it wasn't made clear that there was a 4th option and that we could have moved forward without paying the design fee. And honestly, I did really want a tattoo from her. She's a great artist. Her Instagram is beautiful, and I was excited to get a tattoo. And when I thought that I had to pick one of those 3 options or not get this tattoo that I've been looking forward to, I did pick option 1. I did. And like I said in my last video, that's on me. So she says she is not going to refund me anything. She's not going to give me her creativity for nothing. That, 10-minute sketch of that fox that she sent me that looks nothing like the pictures I sent her. She wants to be paid for that, and she's keeping all my deposits and everything. So I just explained to her that, like, I don't think I'm being nasty. I just feel like, I want to be heard. I don't think that she was clear. I would have picked option 4 if I knew that that was an option for me. And the fact that I paid her $16.95 for that fox sketch, I feel like is good compensation for her time. But I think that the $1,000 deposit that I gave her for my tattoo session that is not going to be happening, I would like that returned. It would also be nice if she would take some responsibility to say that I forgot to tell you about option 4, or I should have asked more questions during the process. Like, she's the professional. She designs these tattoos for a living. If she didn't feel like she was clear on what I wanted, I would have preferred more questions. We met for half an hour on Zoom. I was supposed to get a 45-minute consultation. It only took half an hour. She had 15 more minutes to ask me more questions if she thought she needed more information. I just didn't feel like I can't read her mind either. I didn't know that I had to tell her I wanted a full fox tattoo when I sent her full fox pictures, and I said, I guarantee if you had sent me a beautiful sketch of a full fox, we'd probably be moving forward and I probably would be getting this tattoo. But unfortunately, we're in this situation, and I'm out $2,600.
The absolute lack of professionalism is insane, and I've filmed this multiple times, but I just go off on rants. So let me just condense this all. In every single field, I believe there's such a thing as the administrative fuck you, in the sense of when I had students or when I was talking to staff within my department, oftentimes if I got annoyed, I would refer to my sentences of choice, like as stated previously, as listed below, as referred to in my prior emails. There is something you can say that clearly demonstrates that you're frustrated without resorting to you're a piece of shit, basically. What this person is doing, this tattoo artist, is unprofessional on so many levels. We have the price level, the economic level, whatever we want to call it. And I think that goes without saying, because this is a massive, massive ripoff. I'm going to voice what plenty of people have voiced before. The consultation fee, the design fee with the asterisk of the number of edits, is already out of this world in the sense of it's bullshit, in my opinion. We already have big problems to begin with. If then you're going to go into having this type of attitude with someone, what do you have left? Because in none of these categories have you shown professionalism. And professionalism is also having the patience to deal with people, because realistically, as a tattoo artist, yeah, it's not a customer service job in its own definition, I guess, but it's like you're tattooing people, you know that, right? So how are you going to act this type of way, knowing full well that your job relies on a certain level of communication, on a certain level of transparency, and I guess a certain level of flexibility too. Also, a lot of people in the comments were talking about how the original poster, the TikToker, was being too nice and too lenient, and I completely agree with that. But at the same time, I also think that if you're being so gaslit to the point that you feel like you're overreacting, I think we've all been in that position before. You start wondering, well, did I fuck up? Did I do something wrong? Did I not communicate well enough? You have all these questions that we all know it's not this lady's fault, duh. But I think we've all kind of frozen and been like, wait, am I the villain here? In certain situations, you have to deal with bullshit just to get what you originally paid for, what you signed up for, whatever. So I also think that is part of it, because a significant amount of money was invested in this. So I can understand not immediately being like, hey, fuck you, because obviously you've spent time and money now. It's really saddening to see someone try to work things out when they could have easily gone a more chaotic route. Like this TikToker, the lady who wanted to get tattooed, she easily could have just said, you know what? I'm going to just put you on blast, because plenty of people would have done that. But instead, she kept trying to communicate. And on the contrary, this artist just decided to shut everything down. So it's like, even with the biggest benefit of the doubt, you're still being a trash human. Here, I'm going to include 2 more TikToks, mainly because I want to kind of close off the story and not leave any context out. I also think it's important to include community response, or the response of the internet when the internet isn't being absolutely toxic, because that's a nice change of pace. So I'll include that here.
Wow, thank you guys for validating all my feelings and agreeing with me that I gave her some pretty specific sketch reference pieces, and that her sketch didn't reflect that. I appreciate the support you guys have given and all the comments. I know everybody wants the shop name and the artist name. I'm just not ready to do that yet. I am still kind of hoping to recoup some of my money. I have contacted the Better Business Bureau and filed a complaint and asked for them to help us come to a resolution. I don't need all of my money back. She does want to be compensated for the significant amount of time she spent on her weekend getting reference materials to make my sketch. So I want some of my money back, and I don't think that that'll happen if I start dropping names and doxing her. And as far as her prices, yes, she is expensive. I do really think that she is a good artist, though. But I don't agree with the way that she's being defensive about her pricing. First of all, she's saying that, like, if I wanted to get tattooed in a grungy basement or biker shop or back alley, then I could do that for a cheaper price. So, I mean, maybe that's where all you guys are getting tattooed. So, I don't know. If you're not paying $2,000 a session, maybe that's where you're all getting your tattoos, according to her. She also says that she's been taking a lot of tattoo business courses, and that this is the direction that her industry is heading in, to ask for these fees for designs, and that she's just a pioneer, paving the way for the rest of the artists, the rest of you guys in the, grungy basements, so that you guys can eventually ask for those fees yourselves. So yeah, she can charge what she wants. She can value her time. That's her prerogative. I just do feel validated that I wasn't given what I was expecting, and she wasn't upfront with the costs or the options that I could have gone with. It made it seem like I had to pick one of those 3 expensive options. So anyways, I wish I had more of an update for you. If she responds to my emails, or if I hear from the Better Business Bureau or anything like that, I will definitely update. Hey guys, I just wanted to say first, thank you for all the comments and the validation and the support that I've been given. I came on to tell my story and my experience, and to get advice and opinions from others in this industry. There was a very specific reason, though, that I didn't drop a name or a business name. So I'm going to ask to stop commenting the name down below, if you know it, and to stop going to Google and to stop leaving reviews. I may or may not have been had the police mentioned to me this morning. Even though I never mentioned a name, I never asked anybody to go find a name. I never said anything defamatory about the artist. I even praised her as an artist. I just don't agree with the business practices of expecting somebody to get a tattoo that they don't want, or to pay thousands of dollars more to have it resketched, and to not have those fees outlined on the website before you book. So if anything, that's what I want to see. Is I want to see that website updated, and I want to see those business practices be more transparent. I have not received a refund. I have not heard back from any of the people that I've contacted. I was at a doctor's appointment all morning this morning, so I am just kind of now getting back home, and I've seen all these messages of people offering me art and offering me tattoos and offering to refer me to fantastic artists and just offering a whole lot of support. And the tattoo community is so sweet, you guys. But let's stay sweet and let's all go high and not go low, okay? Thank you, guys.
So I think I've said all the core things that are most important here, and I think a lot of them were really obvious, hence why I think so many of us were frustrated with the tattoo artist seemingly missing the point over and over, or choosing to ignore the point. Whatever the case is, it's unforgivable in my opinion. It's obviously not for me to forgive. That being said, I was looking on TikTok to see what else was going on, and I came across another person who had a shitty experience with this same artist. I'll include those TikToks here. I'm not going to comment on those because the commentary is basically the same thing, but I do think it's interesting to see somebody else's claim, somebody else substantiating what this person said. There were a lot of people in the comments who were claiming to have gotten a tattoo, tried to get a tattoo, whatever, by said tattoo artist. A lot of those accounts I can't confirm or deny, so I don't want to put them here and just say, yes, this is definitely true, because we don't know.
So I wanted a tattoo by this artist who I love, who's very talented, on Instagram.
I guess it was only a matter of time before somebody else came out with a story about this same artist. So I'm going to share my story about how I was basically scammed out of $4,000 from this same artist. She's in Cambridge. I guess I'll start with, I didn't read the reviews about her, so that's on me, whatever it is. And I don't even know if there were bad reviews at that time, because it was actually 2021 that I booked my consult with her initially, paid my $180, and yeah, we had a consultation that I wanted my shoulder and up into my collarbone here. So I have birds that I wanted covered. And so she, at the time, she only did phone consults. So over the phone, we discussed the design, floral and that sort of thing. And she quoted me $1,700 for that tattoo, again, going here and up to here. And she said 50% deposit due, so $850. So I e-transferred her the $850. Now, almost immediately after I got pregnant, so we had to postpone. And then when I was not pregnant, she said she had a head injury, so blah, blah, blah. Anyways, appointment time finally comes, and it's December 2022 now, okay? And a few days before the appointment, she calls me to go over the design. And she says, hey, I'm not going to be able to do the birds. Like, I can't cover it with the design, so we're just going to do the shoulder. And I was like, well, that's not what we had discussed and what I was quoted. And so I gave some other suggestions about like coming up to my neck and that sort of thing. And she said, if you want to change the design, then you have to pay a whole new consultation. Now, keep in mind, this is right after she changed the design. She said, if I don't like the new plan, I can cancel and I would lose my $850 deposit. Yeah, she was quite rude. And so obviously I felt completely obligated to go to this appointment. Wasn't going to be a huge tattoo, so it should be able to be done in one day and be out of there and never have to deal with her again. That was not to be. So a couple days later, the appointment comes. I show up at 9 a.m. appointment time. And this lovely human doesn't even start until close to 1 p.m. She tattoos me for 2.5 hours, gets the outline done, and then she says that she has to leave to pick up her kids. I'm going to continue this in part 2.
Story
This is
time.
part 2 of my experience with the artist, the Fox design artist, who scammed me basically out of $4,000. So where I left off in part 1 was that she had tattooed me for 2.5 hours, got the outline done, and then said that she had to leave. So I knew I was going to have to come back for a second appointment. So we booked it for in January. And then she says that she charges a daily rate and that I owe her $1,900 for today for 2.5 hours. I was there at 9 a.m. and this was about almost 4 o'clock, or that she's saying she needs the $1,900. And I said, you quoted me $1,700. She says, I didn't quote you anything because it was a phone consultation. So it's my word against hers at this point. She says, I didn't quote you anything. And I said, but you asked for 50% of the cost, which is $850. And that's why I sent you the $850 deposit. She said, nope, that's just my deposits. I charge a daily rate. So if you don't want to have the cops called on you, you need to pay me $1,900 today for 2.5 hours worth of work. When I was there at 9 a.m., willing and very much ready to get my tattoo done in that day. So I paid her $1,900 because that $850 deposit, oh yeah, that doesn't go towards the $1,900. That goes towards your last session. Okay. So at this point, I paid her $180, $850, and now $1,900 for an outline, 2.5 hours worth of tattooing, actual work. At this point, I have kind of 2 options. I can cut my losses and stick with this outline 2.5 hour work, maybe get it done by someone else for $3,000. Or I come back, get it finished, and I know that she's going to ask for that additional $1,000. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go back and I'm just going to tell her I'm not paying her any more money. I'm going to get it finished and then tell her I'm not giving her any more. $3,000 is more than enough. So that was my plan. I went to the next tattoo appointment in January, and she does about 3.5 hours more work, just over 3 hours, to get it finished, get the details. Now I'll show you what it looks like so you have an idea. So this is the finished tattoo, okay? Just goes up to about there. So she finishes that tattoo, okay? 3 hours. Go to part 3.
Story time.
Okay, part 3 of the $4,000 tattoo debacle. I'm going to wrap it up here. Where I left off is that she had finished my tattoo. And so she had done just over 3 hours more work. In total, about less than 6 hours work. Here's the tattoo. I told her I'm not paying any more money. You have $3,000 already. She says if I don't pay, that she's going to call the cops. I leave. She calls the cops, of course. And not only that, she takes my driver's license with my personal information and she sends it to every tattoo artist that she knows and tells them that I don't pay and tries to get me blacklisted. All these tattoo artists are sharing on their Instagram stories my driver's license and saying that I skip out on paying and I'm a criminal. I'm getting people messaging me saying, hey, this is you. What's going on? Anyways, I talked to the cop, or the cop calls me and I explain the whole situation and tell him, no, I did pay her. And so he says, okay, I understand. This is not the first complaint that he's had or first issue he's had with this artist. Multiple people have had issues with her. He says that, as absolutely awful as it is what she's doing and immoral, legally, I do have to pay her what the balance is because she can make up whatever prices she wants. She is not doing anything technically illegal. So of course I immediately e-transfer her the balance. So at this point she's got $4,000 for less than 6 hours of work. Now at least I have a tattoo. I'm happy that I have a tattoo and not just a crappy drawing of a fox, but it's also $4,000. I tried to share my story about her on Facebook, my experience, and she threatened to sue me for defamation. I had multiple people, same sort of situation, but it was on Facebook. I had shared my review and people were doing reviews on her shop, bringing the shop down, and it was down to like 1 star as well. She went and had all of those reviews deleted. And she had her shop blocked for a while. Again, she got that all sorted out and then just went on her merry way, scamming more people. I backed down about sharing my story because I was scared, but I am sharing my story now so that hopefully no more people get scammed like I did and like this other person did. And other people as well have reached out to me with similar stories. So yeah, definitely avoid her. Don't make the same mistake I did.
But apparently this tattoo artist has already had problems in terms of prior clients, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of the people in the comments were actually honest about it. I just hope the shop or the tattoo artist herself or friends of this person kind of call them out and make them realize at the very end of the day, how talented you are will not save you if your practices are not clean and transparent. So hopefully this person learned something from it, though my hopes are low. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have any stories or opinions specifically about how you dealt with potentially problematic tattoo artists, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.